I'm really wanting to start a new 7-day challenge. Probably going to be the same as the last 7-day challenge, new group. I haven't decided yet what to do with the old group. Like, if I just let that group continue to run amok, I think that's probably not a good idea. So you may want to begin dragging your people out of that group, because I know what happens in big groups. Suddenly someone will come up and say, I don't like whatever, and then it's like a flu virus, and we're not going to have that. So if you have people in the old 7-day group, you may want to go remove them to make it easier on me, because I will shut that group down, and we'll start fresh with a brand new group, brand new link. It'll probably be named basically the same. We'll do 7-day trials. If you don't know how that worked last time, then there are videos from the last Zoom trainings talking about how we did it last time. It's basically just run similar to a launch party, and it was highly successful. I don't know how many people added new people to their teams and new customers in that 7-day period. I'm saying several people added multiple ambassadors to their team using that, the 7-day challenge. So highly encourage that. That'll be something. I'll put the link to it once I've created it on the Butterfly page. I will show you what to post on your wall, and I'll coach you through the whole thing like we did last time. I feel like I'm saying, like, you know how to do this. We've done this before. We've done it once, and I made it up last time. So I'm sort of bluffing. I was bluffing for sure last time, and I'm sort of bluffing now, but that's how we do this business, because, you know, there's no precedent to an amazing comp plan like we have and products that actually work. So, you know, when you get that combination together and you combine it with the fact that we now have social media to share, nobody's ever done what we're doing before. We're writing the book. We're going to write the chapters to this book. This is how this works. In the beginning, I can remember people asking me questions like, how do you do this and how do you do that? Should I put this person here? Should I do that? And I'm all like, I have no idea. I mean, I'm making this up. So that was first thing on my agenda, and that didn't take as long as I thought it was going to take. But the 7-day challenge, I will post a link for that. Watch for it in the Butterfly page. Watch for the post to post on your wall to get prospective people. It'll be similar to last time, where it's looking for 10 new prospects, looking for 5 new, however you want to word it. I'll give you sort of a basic idea, and then you can word it how you want to. Okay, so that's first on the agenda. Second on the agenda, I think I need to go to screen share, but I don't like screen share. So let me see if I can do it like this, and then I'll share it with you guys in just a second. On the Diamond page today, someone posted a graphic that they had made using Diamond's responses to a question. And the question was, name one thing you gave up. Name one thing. I'm sure that everybody had several things, but name one. The biggest thing that you gave up in order to achieve the rank of Diamond with this company. And I'm going to read the responses to you, and then I'm actually going to share the graphic on the Butterfly page. The graphic is very simple. It's just like one-word answers. The answers that people gave, if they used one topic, they would each say one particular thing, but many of them would explain a little bit about it. So I won't say their names. You'll see that on the graphic, but family time is what one person said. Now I'm going to go down and qualify that later, because someone else came in and said family, because you read that and you're like, oh, bummer. I got to share my family time in order to get to Diamond. Just hold with me. Helen McFadden said television. She said not really a sacrifice. Leslie Weaver, oh no, sorry, that was a different comment. Someone said sleep. I said television. Someone else said family time. We sat our boys down and told them we needed to spend the next 6 to 8 months working our businesses like crazy. Doing this, they helped at events and supported us. We also rewarded them when we hit each rank for helping and supporting our hard work. It actually was really fun for our family, but we didn't do some family time stuff because of it, so that was our sacrifice. Someone else said scrapbooking. They used to be a big scrapbooker. Time. Any free time I had, I spent working my business. This was not my answer, but this is actually the truth of my story. And Dana Benson can attest to what I'm about to say, okay? This was Michelle Thomas's answer that does the Rock the Pink Live, you know. She said, one thing I gave up, which is kind of ironic, was being super frugal, even when we had the money. I used to cut coupons, shop at 3 to 4 stores, shop at Goodwill, always look for a deal, make my own cleaning supplies, laundry detergent, make Pinterest crafts. I still am a simple, low-key person, but I had to give up trying to penny pinch. Do you know why she had to give up penny pinching? I mean, I know this immediately was instantaneous for me. It's excessively time consuming. That's why they call them convenience stores, because they're so easy to run in and get what you want. You pay an extra $1 for the milk, but it's convenient. Well, it was like an angel and demon sitting on my shoulder. Dana, the reason Dana knows this is because she worked at Big Lots. When we met, she was working at Big Lots, and she knows that I would come in there all the time, and I'm all like, you know, working my business, have thousands of dollars in sales every month, was making a really great income already, and I'm all like bargain shopping, spending like countless, I don't know, ridiculous amounts of time. If I was spending the amount of time that I spent on garage sailing or bargain shopping of any kind, if I had devoted that toward my business in the beginning, I might have gotten to where I got way quicker. And there perhaps may be something in your life that you feel like, okay, because this is guilt driven, by the way, if you don't know this. You're all like, well, I do it because I earn that money and I should be frugal. And to be frugal, steward, I'm stewarding my money well. But the thing is, are you stewarding your time well? Are you stewarding your gifts well? And if your best gift in the world is couponing, because, hey, been there. If that's your best gift in the world, do you think that you could possibly devote, I don't know, the hours that you spend couponing, and I know that Krista Deary has shared about this too, the hours that you will spend being frugal, if you devoted that to reading a couple of leadership books, maybe a John Maxwell book, devoted that to actually picking the phone up, doing some team building calls, doing some 3-way calls, the frugal part, even though that you really, it's almost like you can't breed it out. It's like it's there. It's like DNA. You're like, I can't help myself. I'm still frugal. I'm still like Amazon Prime. I don't want to pay for shipping. I want it in 2 days though. All this kind of like, you have this inner conflict going on. If that fits you, or if actually you have anything that you think makes you more holy or fit, that you spend a lot of time on, that's not actually holy. Like it's kind of like, oh, well, it just seems kind of holy. Okay, time wasted, time that could probably be better spent to gaining your family some financial freedom. Okay, hang on a second. Time with my children, TV time and magazine reading time. My reputation, or what people thought about me. What's so weird is that wasn't my answer, but someone else gave that answer, and I was like, yeah, I didn't trade my reputation. I traded my fear of what people thought about me to make a dime in income. And I will tell you, on the other side of things, you kind of don't care. You kind of go, sorry about your bad luck that you don't like me. Sorry about your bad luck that you wanted to be rude about what new opportunity I took advantage of. Let's see. Sorry, I'm having to fish through the actual, I copied and pasted the whole entire comment thread, so I'm having to fish through names. Family time, mainly evenings with my hubby, but we had a sit-down family discussion about the short-term sacrifice for long-term opportunity, and it was such a worthy sacrifice, although difficult. Also sleep. A few of my kids' sporting events. Did you know back in the day, like when my grandpa ran a dairy, when he was working hard for the money, milking those cows, he did not get to go to the ball games. And so guess what? Everybody still grew up and everybody did just fine. In fact, he was able to pay for their college because of it. If you're able to pay for their college because of it and you have to miss a ball game every now and again, your child will get a college education and they might be slightly mentally damaged because you didn't go to their pee-wee ball game. It's just it's a toss-up. It's a trade. You have to figure out which one is more important. At least they get a college education on top of the mental depravity, okay? I'm just being funny. Okay. Couponing again. But I wanted to see what my hubby thought, and he immediately said, shopping for free stuff or a deal. I'm super frugal, but not like I was before Plexus. Somebody said, I gave up my stories with my hubby at night on the couch. She's talking about television. She says, Homeland, House of Cards, so on and so forth. A clean house. Someone gave up a clean house. Some of my routines, movies, sleep, health research, my fun side hobby, some family excursions. My husband would take the kids places and I stayed home and worked. Oh, an organization of the house and schedule went out the window for 1 year. Now, some of you who have the anal retentive gene just went into, like, put your oxygen mask on before you had to put it on yourself before you can save the others. You have to save yourself before you can save the others. And in order to save yourself, you have to clean your house. You have to have, my house is never clean. I'm just going to tell you. Y'all know that already. Cooking and searching for new fun recipes. Reading for fun. Starting to force myself to do those things that made me again. Was worth it, but I missed getting excited about I missed getting excited about a new yummy meal. Somebody else said, I gave up television, but I still have not gone back to watching it, even after she earned her time freedom back. Because here's the thing, you're punching your time into your time clock, and you're like, okay, I'm going to give my time away for, let's say if it takes a year to get to Diamond from wherever you are, I'm going to give my time away for a year. But do you understand the flip of that? Do you understand the T-ball games you'll never miss? Do you understand if you decide to go back to television, or if you decide to go back to couponing, or if you decide to go back to scrapbooking, do you understand the scrapbooks you could buy, pay someone to do yourself with the time freedom that you gain by the fact that you're the boss of yourself now, right? Okay. Here's what she posted on her team page, the lady that did this survey. Sacrifices must be made to achieve any goal, Plexus or not. I asked 22 diamonds to list this biggest sacrifice and they had to make on their way to Diamond, and here's what they said. And so I'll post that graphic. I don't know. I can't post a graphic in the chat, can I? No. I'll post it on the butterfly page so that you guys can refer back to it later. I wanted to go into a little bit of explanation besides not I want to go into a little explanation so that moms didn't go into sheer panic mode when we started talking about losing some family time, because I know for a fact when I started this, because of the fact that almost everything in my life centered around the fact that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, even though I wasn't doing it well. I promise I wasn't doing it well. I was so, let me take you on a really quick journey. So involved in becoming better in my photography in order to stay at home with my kids that I couldn't stay at home with my kids effectively because I was like, leave mommy alone. Mommy's trying to learn. I need to learn. Y'all are too noisy, whatever. And I'm push. When what I wanted to be is like huddling my chickens all under my wings. I was saying, chickens, you're awfully noisy. I can't read while you're so noisy. And the thing is, if someone had ever said to me, I know a way that you can say chickens for a year, and then you can huddle them under your wings forever, I would have been like, well, first of all, I wouldn't have believed it probably, but I've witnessed it, and now I'm telling you, there are ways, even if you're a family time person, some of you are like, I don't care so much about that, but if you are a family time person, that you're like, That's my goal. That's the reason I do Plexus, is to have more time with my family. It may require the sacrifice up front to get there fast. Now, so many of you who used to be school teacher, cashier, assistant manager, builder of swimming pools, whatever you used to be, so many of you are in this part-time business, and you're like, I'm kind of enjoying the extra $500, $1,000 a month, whatever, and I'm okay with that. And plus, I still get to be a good mom. I still get to be a good dad. I don't have to sacrifice a lot. And I'm not at all, I can't take that away, because the truth is, I don't know of another MLM that you can put in part-time hours and get back the kind of pay that a lot of you, because so many school teachers started this journey, and they were literally putting in after school hours less than a coach does, like way less than a coach does. And in less than one school year, we're able to completely retire making double the money. You know what I'm saying? So the opportunity is there for those of you who are more like, I'm happy, I want to be happy. But if you're not, and you're all like, I want to be happy, but what would really make me happy is to be able to retire in 4 years and know I did it effectively on a firm foundation. You can put in, I truly believe you can put 365 days, doing only like 5 days a week, doing only like 3 to 4 hours a day, or even less than that. If you're like locked in and you're like, this is what I want, this is my dream. My dream is to be able to give my family freedom after that year. This is in my experience, this is the only business I know of where you can do something and you can get that kind of return on your investment in your time. So I think, I personally think that we have the absolute best products and the absolute best compensation plan that there is out there. And I feel like it's time way better spent and way better invested than you could spend it on anything else. Now, really quick, because I feel like I have neglected product information, and I don't do anything really quick, but we're going to try. I want to highlight a product tonight. And of course, I have to start with my favorite product. And then I'm going to try for the next several weeks to do a product each week on our Zoom call. So this Zoom call will be labeled like, 7-day challenge, sacrifices, and ProBio 5. Okay? That way you'll be easily able to find the one that talks about ProBio 5. I'm going to teach you what ProBio 5 actually does and all the things that you can't say. It's the only way I can record it. Does everybody understand this? As a Plexus ambassador, I feel like you have to be versed in the capabilities of a product, even though government regulatory agencies tell us you cannot say that. So everything, I'm teaching you compliance tonight. Do we understand? I'm going to say the things that you cannot say. These are non-compliant. I don't want to catch you saying the following things. Understood? Okay. So ProBio 5 is exceptionally different than a probiotic. And if you are faced with people who know a lot about probiotics, they will get you confused by saying, well, that doesn't have enough of this, or why isn't it refrigerated? So right now I'm going to share my screen with you. We're going to watch a 4-minute video like we're in science class. Just a moment, kids. We're going to go to the projector. Hang on. It'll take me 1 second here. Okay. If this video starts skipping, I need, hang on. Let me find somebody's face that I know. Jesse, will you flag me down because I can see your face, okay? If this video is skipping.
Okay, guys, I wanted to do a really quick video about ProBio 5, the most common questions I get asked about ProBio 5. 2 or 3 points here. First of all, Why does ProBio 5 not have a bazillion culture forming units like a lot of other probiotics do? And a short answer for that is basically all those culture forming units are a compensation on the part of other probiotics. They're compensating for the fact that it's hard to get their probiotic to actually absorb in the body because of the fact that it doesn't kill candida. When I say it, other probiotics generally don't kill candida. They don't have the enzyme in it that actually goes in there and kills candida and makes room so that your body can properly absorb the probiotics that you put in it. So basically, it's sort of like X Factor in that way. You think about X Factor, the vitamin, our multivitamin. Well, ours has the aloe that makes it able to more properly absorb into the body. So therefore, you don't have to have a bagazillion grams of the vitamins that are in it because the vitamins that are in it are more readily absorbed. Same with the ProBio 5. That's sort of how you have to get that in your head. We don't need all of those culture forming units because of the fact that we kill candida. It makes the colon more readily accept the probiotics that are in ProBio 5. So it's compensation, and also it's a buzzword. The CFUs, if you'll remember, 2.5 years ago, no one had even ever heard of culture forming units. I mean, now that it's on television, everyone thinks, oh, that has to have culture forming units and it has to be refrigerated. Okay, that's another thing. All those culture forming units and all those different strands of probiotics that are in those other probiotics are what cause it to have to be refrigerated. Other probiotics have to be refrigerated because of that. And ours does not, because ours works differently. Ours is actually in a completely different league. Completely different league because of the fact that it kills candida. And also, I have so many customers now who originally might have come to me and said, can you explain to me why I need to use your probiotic because I already take a probiotic? And when I ask them, well, what does your probiotic do for you? They go into this blank, glazed over, well, I don't know, I take it because of this, or I take it because someone told me that it would help with that. And I say, is it helping? And the answer is usually that it's not helping noticeably. So the major difference in ProBio 5 and other probiotics is the result factor. The fact that it actually does something. Sleeping better, my allergies are better, my depression is better, my overall mood is better. And those are just the glazing over the top ones. You guys hear the testimonies about major health factors that ProBio 5 goes in and helps. It gets your immune system working properly again. And your immune system is God's way of taking care of what's wrong with your body. If you have a candida problem, your body cannot function properly. Your immune system can't function properly. And so basically, ProBio 5 turns your immune system back on and gets your body back in check. I hope that's helped you guys with the questions that I get asked most often. Oh, one more thing. There is no such thing as a loading dosage of ProBio 5. Start off slow. You only need to take 1 to 2 at a time daily, preferably at night, and also preferably with BioCleanse at the same time, in my opinion. I think they should both be taken at night. Other people do that a little differently, but the majority of my customers take the BioCleanse and the ProBio 5 together at night, and they like it that way, and they ease into it. They only need to take 1 or 2 starting off because it can cause candida die-off symptoms, it's a good thing. It's a good sign to have candida die-off. That means the candida is dying off. But the symptoms are yucky. Candida die-off symptoms are yucky, and your customers generally won't hang around through candida die-off because they don't understand what's going on. So ease into ProBio 5 and BioCleanse. You can take up to 4, but in the beginning, you want to start off easy. No loading dosage. Start off with 1 or 2 taken together at night. That's my opinion, and that's all that matters. Right, Jetty? Peace out, people. Okay, guys, I wanted to do a really quick video about ProBio 5, the most common questions I get asked about ProBio 5.
I gotta go back and make it shut up.
2 or 3 points here.
Okay. Now you can hear me, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. After all these years, he still knows the answer to that question. Okay. Here are a few more things that you don't want to say. That video is not compliant. I wanted you to see what is not compliant, okay? You can use that video to train yourself and possibly message to someone, but you cannot post on your wall. You can't say anything about Candida, and apparently you can't really talk about results on your wall so much. Also, other things that you cannot talk about are autoimmune disorders, which means that your immune system has quit functioning. And you cannot talk about the fact that usually what has crippled your immune system is Candida. Also, you cannot talk about the fact that our probiotic has an antifungal in it. And that is what distinguishes it. That's what gets rid of Candida, is an antifungal. You can talk about the ingredients. For example, and I do not know how to say this because it's spelled CHITOSANASE. I think that's actually called chitosanase. I used to say chitosanase because it starts with CH. It's like chitosanase. You cannot tell that that is an antifungal. However, it has been known to chase the fungus out of town. Okay? When you chase the fungus out of town, the fungus can no longer hold your immune system hostage. And if your immune system is no longer held hostage, then your immune system can fight off almost anything that plagues your body. When you read testimonies that include the triplex, that you just go, that can't be true. It's true, and it's blue. It's in the little blue bottle, okay? Or it's in the bottle with the blue label. Now we have an actual blue bottle, okay? This business used to be a whole lot easier to work publicly, in that you could say all those things I just told you not to say. You are no longer allowed to say those things. However, for the sake of humanity, it is good for you to know those things. Does that make sense to everyone? So when someone says, oh my gosh, can this get rid of warts? And you're like, I don't know, warts are a virus. That doesn't make sense. Well, my warts went away. So I was actually plagued by that question. I was like, how do warts go away if warts are viral and this has chitosanase in it, which is known to be an antifungal agent? Maybe warts are fungal, I thought. No, it's just because my immune system was no longer crippled, and any healthy immune system should fight off a wart. That's in fact how the doctor knows that you have a weakened immune system, is if you have warts, like on your feet or on your fingers. Also, other outward signs of fungal conditions like athlete's foot, yeast infection, jock itch, eczema, scalp type, itchy dandruff type stuff, breathing trouble, bowel trouble, and I'm talking almost every bowel trouble. They all have all kinds of different names, but still almost every bowel trouble. I'm trying to think what parts of the body I have missed. Allergies, food allergies, joint pain. All of those things are considered immune system problems, which you might as well say are fungal infection. I have a fungal infection. That means I can't seem to get my immune system working right. Fungus is the boss of my immune system right now. I need to take down the fungus. How do I do that? Well, I can't really say on this call tonight how you could do that. I'm going to let you make your assumptions from A to Z. Do not say it on your wall, though. Now, for those of you who are like, what can we say? Well, okay, hang on. Okay, the brief explanation. This is Carrie Kirby's asking. What's a brief explanation of why it's different? The brief explanation in the form of not putting it on your wall, you just can't advertise this. But if I were standing person to person or on the phone, or if someone messaged me privately and they wanted to understand better what makes ours different, it's because other probiotics don't have anything in it that fight off Candida. That makes sense to everyone. Now, everything else I taught you tonight also applies, but if you wanted something very simple, it's because ours is advertised as a probiotic, but that is not really the most accurate description of it, in my opinion. Hang on one second. Someone asked how many BioCleanse to start out with. I feel really that really that most people need to start off with no more than 2, usually 1, at least for the first few days, just because BioCleanse is just as powerful as ProBio. You're kind of like, you don't know what's going to happen when you start taking it. I think everybody should really start off slow. That's my opinion. My opinion also regarding whether you should take it at night or in the morning. I know we've touched on this before on the butterfly page, but just to put my opinion in a marquee with huge, huge neon lights. When someone is sick and they're starting off on these products, to start on the ProBio 5 is like swishing your toilet with a brush. You're going to get all those toxins stirred up in there in your toilet. And if you don't take the cleanse, it's like you just stirred it up and didn't flush it. So to take them together makes perfect sense. Not only does it make perfect sense for that simplistic of a reason, actually, chemically speaking, it makes perfect sense. Now, I can go into all the science of it, but Bibi Shattuck's way better at that than I am. She's amazing at explaining the science of it. For a short time, a lady worked for Plexus that had everyone in an uproar and they were saying, the developer. She didn't develop either one of these products. She was a salaried person who worked at corporate and said, I, in my personal opinion, think people should take them separately. She only worked with Plexus for a very short time, and she's no longer with us. And in my opinion, her opinion was not right. So that's where you see these videos. The developer said this. She didn't develop these 2 products, and she didn't see the thousands of testimonies that I've read. I've read, I bet, 10,000 testimonies, and I'm not exaggerating because people send me their stories all day long. And the best testimony, now, okay, to clarify, since we're being recorded, and I want this to be on the record to say this. If someone starts taking them separately and experiences great results, then that is okay because that is actually what the bottle says. But I get a little defensive when people start telling me that you can't take them together because it makes the results ineffective. Because I was seeing better results than anybody in the company within our team and within our customers. We were seeing hands down the best results. And we were taking them together. And the majority of people, when they start off in the beginning, to at least to keep your like weird kind of symptoms down, to where people are like, gosh, my eczema sort of flared up for a second. Well, that type of thing doesn't happen nearly as often if they're taking the BioCleanse at the same time of day, okay? Actually, if they're taking it at all, like they need to be taking it, basically. If they're taking the ProBio, most people, unless they can't for some reason, most people need to be taking the BioCleanse. Like, that's the magic duo, in my opinion. Okay, hang on one second. Let me look back at your questions again, because this is really, I don't want to rush through this. This is like scripture. You get to one and you're like, whoa, I got to stay on this one for 10 minutes. Well, this is like, to me, it's like, okay, this is like the Plexus Bible. Like, of all the things in Plexus that's really important to me, I want to make sure I have all your questions answered. Okay. I just have to say something really funny. Amity said that Ree Drummond takes Plexus. Her son said, Ree Drummond takes Plexus? If y'all don't know who Ree Drummond is, that's the pioneer woman. Okay, I have to just say something really funny about that. She is a photographer, homeschooling mom who's redheaded from Oklahoma. She's married to a man who looks like the Marlboro Man. She's a blogger and has like a huge following. And my best friend Missy told me a long time ago, she's like, have you ever followed the Pioneer Woman stuff? And I was like, no, I don't know who this is. At the time I did. Now I do. But maybe, I don't know. I don't know her well enough to say that we're one and the same, but a lot of people have asked me, that's weird. She's redheaded, homeschooling mom, goes through the whole thing. The Marlboro Man thing is the funniest thing to me. My husband sort of has the look. Her husband actually does it. Like, he's not a dude rancher even. He's like the rancher. She's a photographer, all that kind of stuff. So that's funny. Okay. Last thing. Oh, one thing I did not mention in that video is that people who really get hung up on probiotics needing to be refrigerated, it's usually just really crunchy people who are really into like whole food organic type stuff, but they might say like, why are your probiotics not actually refrigerated? And in that case, I always just say it back to people. I learned this from BB Shattuck. I say, well, the truth is because just think about the fact that once you've consumed it, it's not refrigerated anymore. So if becoming body temperature or warmer or actually renders something ineffective, imagine what happens to your refrigerated probiotic once you have actually put it in your mouth. Okay? So that actually, people go, oh, I hadn't thought about that. And then you can move on past that objection as well. I want to read something to you that I have actually had hanging on my wall for a long time. One of Jetty's cousins shared this with me, and I feel like it applies to a lot of people on our team. And then I'm going to close this in prayer. This is about empathetic people. People who, empathy just means that you have strong feeling when someone is experiencing something. It's like you can experience it too. You feel empathy for them. Take on their pain, or it's a little bit different than sympathy, because sympathy is like, I feel sorry for you. Empathy is more like, I feel sorry with you. Okay, sort of. That's sort of what empathy means. So it's a little thing that Jetty's cousin posted this on my wall one time, and then my friend Missy actually printed it out for me. It says, empathetic people, dreamers and idealists, have this sort of accidental power. Most spend their early years ridden with self-doubt, insecurity, and people-pleasing habits. But their journey is inevitably derailed when this comfortable life gets uprooted by an unexpected darkness. Suddenly, their trusted methods no longer seem to bring them happiness. At first, this depression convinces them that they might never feel joyful again. But ultimately, it sets them on a quest for something more, for love, justice, and wisdom. And once this adventure begins, there is no stopping a dreamer. And when dreamers unite, that's how we start to change the world. I thought, oh my gosh, I might as well have like butterfly team written at the top of it. I feel like so many of you fall into that category. Tonight, I'm going to pray over you. I'm going to do something just a little different. Well, I say it's going to be different, and it may turn out exactly the same, because sometimes that happens. But what I want to do is I want to start the prayer, and I just felt led to say this earlier today. I thought, if we get to a point where I'll just say in Jesus' name, and if someone else feels led that they want to add on, if you feel the Spirit bubbling up inside of you, I certainly do not want to hush that in anyone. So many people have I feel like there's a for such a time as this thing going on in the world, in the atmosphere, in the universe, however you want to imagine that in your mind. And it's like so many important things are coming to the surface. And I do feel like we're in an era of something I can't explain. And also I feel like we're coming into an era of where we may get to experience in our lifetimes, and even our children, even more so probably, experience things that maybe have never happened before in written history. And so not to squelch the Spirit, basically. If anyone feels led, and if one of you starts talking on top of the other or whatever, y'all can just take turns or whatever, because we can go around. Anybody who wants to pray tonight. And then if it gets really quiet and it's quiet for like 20 or 30 seconds, then I'll just say amen, Okay, I don't want anybody feeling uncomfortable. So, so I will kick us off. If you have, I feel it's very important tonight that I'm looking to see how many people are on here tonight. I know we have 2 pages worth of people. I feel like when you join on these calls, or if you're listening to this call because it's recorded, and if I begin to pray and you don't understand who I'm praying to or why I would pray to him or the significance of that, that's actually what I want to lead the prayer with. So that if anybody joining in on this call, or if anybody at a later date listens to this call, because that's the significance of what we do. It's to me, it's the most important thing that we will ever do is make a decision like this. So before I start praying, I want to explain that to you very briefly. To decide that you want your life to be led by God is usually only a power struggle. Like, it seems like when we're kids, we sort of know that that's what we're supposed to do. And it becomes a power struggle when intellect begins to, our left brain, which is intellect, begins to overpower what our spirit wants to do anyway. Our spirit tries to rise up inside us. When you hear people praying and you feel that something that's like, oh my God, what is that? I don't understand that. I don't recognize that, whatever. That's the Holy Spirit, and he's trying to say to you, hello, that's me. He's knocking on your door. And if you've never made that decision, and I'm not saying that it's easy, because so many people struggle with making that decision. But what I am saying is actually doing it is incredibly easy. All you have to do is decide that you want to believe, and he will literally wipe away every sin. And I was on a call earlier today where they talked about that. It's like he goes back in time and literally blots out every single thing that you've ever done, every indiscretion, everything that you've ever done that makes you feel ashamed or makes you feel guilt. It's as though it never happened, as far as the east is from the west. And so all you have to do is decide that you want to believe that he's your Lord and Savior. And I know that these Wednesday night calls, I feel sometimes before they start, I feel this whole like, oh gosh, here I go. I'm going to turn it into church again. But the thing is, we are at a time where I feel like it's really incredibly important that you're led by something bigger than you, because we're incredibly stupid. The human race in general, we are incredibly ignorant. And it's just way smarter to have a higher power guiding you and leading you. And if you think that you are smart enough, then that's even incredibly stupider. Does that make sense to everyone? You're like, I got this. I'm good. Be like, well, don't come to my crawl hole when everything happens. You know what I'm saying? When this thing shakes down, you got this. I'm going to say, good deal. You got this. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to pray over those people first. I'm going to pray over like our spirits and everything. And here we go. I'm going to shut up and I'm going to actually start praying. Lord, I just come to you tonight and I lift up. I just ask that you penetrate our spirits in a way. You penetrate our hearts in a way that's so undeniable that it's completely you. And if there are people that are watching this, that are listening tonight, that need an encounter with you, Lord, I ask that they're just brave enough to ask for it, because I have faith that you will give it to them. Crazy faith. I just know that you will just, if they need something, some sort of experience in their hearts, something to happen in their lives where it's like that you will show out for them. Lord, I know that you will show up and you will show out for them. All they have to do is be brave enough to ask. It's one of those, it's like, I dare you, faith. I dare you to ask me. Ask me to show up in your life. I will show up. Lord, I just pray over those people whose hearts feel raw tonight, who feel broken, who feel uprooted by something that's going on in their lives, something that's going on with family, something that's going on in their work, something that's going on in their marriage, with their kids, with their finances, Lord. Because we know that you are sovereign in your power, Lord. I trust in that completely. And for those that are struggling with that, Lord, I lift them up to you. Their hearts are tender. The soil is perfect. And that you would just begin to water that, Father. Father, I just pray over anybody who wants to give their heart to you tonight, that their heart bubbles up with such excitement, anticipation, that they don't let their left brain be the ruler. They don't let their left brain, their analytical mind, be the boss of their forever, of their eternity. Let their spirit, let the Holy Spirit inside of them bubble up into acceptance of who you are. Lord, we trust you. We love you. We give our businesses to you. We give our marriages to you. We have to lay those things down, and oh my goodness, our nature just wants to pick it back up. Our flesh just says, it's okay, I got this. But you just have this way of reminding how incredibly goofy we are in and of ourselves. I'm incredibly grateful, though, that once we have you, everything switches. Everything turns around. We have power we never dreamed of. We have healing ability. We have ability to see more into the spirit of who you are. So grateful for that. I'm so grateful for your provision in our lives, that you come in before us. And for every tiny little seed that we plant, you just water it and water it and water it. And you watch our faith bloom. I'm so incredibly grateful for all the people, the faces that I see on this call week after week after week. And they sort of know what to expect now. I'm just grateful for them. They feel like family. As they begin to really trudge through what this business is in their lives and what this company represents in their lives, Lord, stay close to them like their best friend. We just pray that you're just thick as thieves with us. Every phone call, every email, every letdown, every time something feels like, ugh, yuck, I pray that you come in with your grace and you remind us of the bigger picture. So grateful for your mercy and for your love that you shower down on us, and the blessings that we don't deserve, but you just lovingly give them to us because we're your kids. I pray over those people on this team that are empathetic people, who have a heart to reach out and love on people whose feelings are more easily crushed. I lift them up to you, Lord. I just pray that I pray that you just put this bubble of protection around them, that even though they get to feel and sense those things, that they don't take those things on as who they are. And instead that you let your light penetrate through those things. Let your love penetrate through those things so that they don't take disappointments as their own. If anyone that's listening to this has a struggle that they're going through right now, Lord, I just pray that you would be so close to them. I pray that they could literally hear your whisper. I pray you teach us how to be quiet, how to shut down our left brain and our mind so that our spirit can connect with you. How to just completely hush, be silent. Okay, I'm going to say in Jesus' name if there's anyone else who wants to join in. You'll have to unmute yourself. Someone talking? No. Okay. They said, I covered it all, Lord. That's what they said. Amen. So if anybody does want to reach out to me, or if you have someone that you know that's within this group that you feel more comfortable reaching out to regarding any of the stuff that we talk about on these calls, please feel free. Jetty and I are always available. If something has ever happened to you within this our team page or through Facebook private messenger to where you feel that we did not readily answer a question that you have, please know that you are not a number. However, sometimes it comes down to sheer numbers, and sometimes we might accidentally miss something. Like if I open something when I'm at the drive-thru somewhere and I really bad want to answer you, and I am only 40, however, I sometimes will get home later that night and it will never occur to me again that you asked me that question. So what you have to remember with me is thick-headedness, slightly disorganized, and I can pray that I'm really highly connected with the Spirit and love me for that and say, hey, numbskull, you forgot to message me back. That won't at all. That doesn't insult me at all. I know what I am. So anyway, if you ever reach out to me, know that Jetty and I both are incredibly devoted to this team. We're devoted to you, not just as team. We're devoted to you on such a bigger level. And so if you've ever had your feelings hurt by us, it's deepest apologies. However, you need to just reach back out and tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, Dingbat, you never answered the question I had for you the other day. And then I will answer it. So anyway, does anybody have a question tonight that we didn't cover? Hang on, let me look through the questions on the chat before anybody says anything out loud. Somebody said, what can we post on our wall? You can post anything on your wall that is on the website. That's the short answer for it. We also have a gentleman who has recently joined corporate, who is a compliance genius, who is actually, I think he's probably an attorney, and his whole goal in joining Plexus from the executive level is to teach us what we should and should not say to keep the company out of any kind of trouble. So that's basically, it may be a few months down the road before we get great ideas of cool things that we can say regarding our immune function, regarding those types of things. But until then, you can say anything that's on the website. You can cut and paste anything that's on the website. Let me read other questions. Yes, she said, somebody says, quit confessing numbskull and dingbat over yourself. I use those as endearing terms. They were always said to me by my mother, who I can't stand. I'm just joking. Those are not actually mean words in my vocabulary. You're right, though. I shouldn't say those things over myself. The power of my tongue. Testimonies is a sticky, sometimes I think probably the best thing to use at this point right now about testimonies is to use where I've asked for testimonies, because in the original post, I don't mention the word Plexus. I say, just tell me your stories about this. Tell me your stories about that. And then if people tell me a story that involves Plexus, that's okay, because that's their story. That way you're not sharing something on your own wall. I wouldn't share them on your wall. I would share them via private message or tag people in those threads, because as of so far, I'm in the clear with all of that. Okay. Okay. Anybody else have a question? We're almost exactly 1 hour. Anybody? You'll have to unmute yourself if you do have a question. Hang on. Okay, someone did ask me, how would anyone know to ask about Plexus if we, hang on, let me pull it back up, if we can't share? Well, let me say this. I have been on and off disgruntled at the fact that we are a company who has shirts that say really big slim on them. You're like, hey, what if I'm not so slim and I'm walking around wearing a shirt that says it, okay? And I actually walked around kind of like, I can't believe that this is a weight loss company when really we literally save lives. And then it occurred to me one time at the Super Saturday in Houston, the night before we actually did the Super Saturday, we had a meeting, and I noticed that people came up there for the testimony portion of the meeting, and they gave these lives completely transformed testimonies. And at the end, they'd say, "Oh yeah, and I've lost 15 pounds. Oh yeah, I've lost 50 pounds. Oh yeah, I've lost 120 pounds." And every single person who came up there started their testimony with all this jaw-dropping information and ended it with the weight loss thing. So basically, I finally said, curiosity, how many of you started it for the jaw-dropping results? And they were all like, and I was like, well, I mean, how many of you actually started it for weight loss? That's what I should ask. How many of you started it for weight loss? Every single person started it for weight loss and ended up basically with a checklist of things that they no longer have to take, things that they no longer have, things that they're no longer plagued with. So I guess for now, until we learn more from our new compliance director, we can share regarding weight loss. We can share regarding anything that's on the website, because there are proper wordings of things, discomfort, those types of things that you can say when you can't say chronic pain. There are ways that you can word things. And basically, someone said the other day, use words that a second grader would know to use, like my tummy hurts. And you can usually get away with that, okay? Because those are not actually considered diseases. Hang on, I'm going to check the chat one more time. Also, it doesn't hurt to share about the financial freedom that any of you might be experiencing. That definitely gets people to tune in to you as well. Okay, anybody else have a question? All right, well, thanks for joining. Oh, is somebody actually? No, I thought they were raising their hand. I think they've just got their, yeah, Carrie Kirby says, this is one reason the selling from the heart and telling stories is effective. If you're in that group, you guys, the people that are in that group have it down. The people who join that group they're selling product right and left if they actually applied the notions in that group. Some people are too stubborn to get in that group and actually apply the stuff that's in that group. But the people who are in that group are flourishing and beginning to share their stories and share from their heart and beginning to learn how to use the social media world in a way that keeps them from having to run all over the countryside looking for new prospects. Hang on a second. Somebody keep talking to me. Hang on. Okay, someone asked me if we're not supposed to share other people's testimonies. I think that's a gray area right now. I don't know. If you're not getting in trouble for it, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. Right now, I don't know. Okay. All right. You guys have a great night. Thanks for joining us tonight. We will try to make sure that we feature another product next week. It won't be my favorite product, but it may be my second favorite product. And so we'll talk to you guys soon. Good night.